Imagine lying down in your bed tonight, closing your eyes like you've done thousands of times before, and never waking up again. No warning, no pain you could remember, just silence. This happens far more often than people realize. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of adults over the age of 50 suffer heart attacks and strokes while they are asleep. And here's the most frightening part. For most of them, the cause wasn't a rare disease, bad luck, or genetics alone. It was something they were doing every night, sincerely believing it was harmless. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you the nighttime habits that quietly turn sleep into one of the most dangerous moments of the day for your heart and brain. And more importantly, I will show you what you can change starting as early as tonight to dramatically reduce this risk. What you are about to learn is not an exaggeration. It is not fear-mongering. It is medical reality. My name is Dr. Alex, and I have worked for over 10 years as a doctor in countries like Ukraine and Poland. And if you are worried about your health, then this message could literally save your life. Here is what most people do not realize. Nighttime is when your cardiovascular system is at its most vulnerable. According to the American Heart Association, nearly half of fatal cardiovascular events in older adults occur between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. This is not a coincidence. During sleep, your body is supposed to shift into a protective mode. Your blood pressure naturally drops. Your heart rate slows down. Your nervous system switches into repair mode. Your brain clears out toxic metabolic waste accumulated during the day. But when certain habits interfere with these natural processes, sleep turns into a physiological minefield. Tonight, you will learn why heart attacks and strokes happen so often during sleep, about the most dangerous nighttime habits after 50, and about a simple routine that will protect your heart and brain while you sleep. Everything I will explain is based on real medical research and presented in a way that you can apply in practice. Let's start with the first deadly nighttime habit: late and heavy dinners. Many people do not consider this dangerous. They think, I'm just having dinner. But after 50, when and what you eat at night can determine whether your heart will rest or struggle with the load for hours. When you eat a large portion late in the evening, especially after 8 or 9 in the evening, several dangerous things happen at once. Your digestive system requires increased blood flow. Your heart has to beat harder to supply blood to the stomach and intestines. Your blood pressure rises instead of dropping. Your metabolism speeds up, whereas it should be slowing down before sleep. Simply put, you are forcing your heart to work overtime at the exact moment it needs rest the most. A major study published in the European Heart Journal observed over 100,000 adults over several years. The results were clear and alarming. People who regularly ate late dinners had a significantly higher risk of nighttime heart attacks and strokes compared to those who ate earlier. Why does this happen? Late digestion raises the level of triglycerides in the blood. It increases arterial inflammation. It disrupts the normal drop in blood pressure at night. And there is another danger that most people ignore. Sleeping with a full stomach worsens acid reflux. Acid reflux doesn't just cause discomfort. It can stimulate the vagus nerve and trigger dangerous heart rhythm disturbances, especially in older adults. I once treated a 68-year-old patient who had eaten heavy late dinners for decades. One night, she suffered a heart attack in her sleep. Her heart had been under constant nighttime stress for years, and that night, it simply couldn't take it anymore. The good news is the following. Correcting this habit brings immediate benefits. Earlier and lighter dinners allow your heart to truly rest at night. Blood pressure stabilizes. The risk of nighttime attacks drops dramatically. Now let's move on to the second deadly nighttime habit, which many people underestimate: skipping medications or taking them at the wrong time. If you take medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinning, this part is critically important. Blood pressure follows a natural daily rhythm. In healthy people, it drops during sleep. But in many adults over 50, this drop does not occur. Or worse, pressure rises at night. This is called nocturnal hypertension, and it is extremely dangerous. Large studies published in the Lancet Journal have shown that properly timed medication intake can reduce the risk of a nighttime heart attack and stroke by almost half. But skipping doses or taking medications inconsistently leads to asymptomatic spikes in blood pressure during sleep. These spikes can rupture fatty plaques in your arteries. They can form blood clots that travel to the heart or brain. I have treated patients who forgot to take their medication several evenings a week. One of them suffered a massive stroke overnight. He survived, but remained permanently paralyzed. The time of taking medications is not a minor detail. It is a matter of life and death. Always discuss the time of taking medications with your doctor and never skip them. Now let's talk about the third deadly nighttime habit. One of the most underdiagnosed killers among adults over 50 is undiagnosed or untreated sleep apnea. Sleep apnea causes repeated breathing pauses during sleep, sometimes lasting 10, 20, or even 30 seconds. Each pause lowers the oxygen level in the blood. Each such drop triggers an emergency response. Your heart beats faster, your blood pressure jumps, stress hormones flood your system. This can happen hundreds of times a night, and often you do not even remember it. Large studies from leading universities show that untreated sleep apnea triples the risk of nighttime heart attacks and quadruples the risk of strokes. Warning signs include loud chronic snoring, waking up with a lack of air, morning headaches, severe daytime fatigue, and blood pressure that is difficult to control. One of my patients thought that snoring was just an annoying minor issue. One night, her oxygen level dropped so low that her heart rhythm became unstable. She survived because help arrived in time. The treatment changed her life. Sleeping on your side can help, but it does not replace a proper diagnosis. And now, no matter how dangerous these habits are, the next one is even more common because many older adults do it intentionally, believing that it is healthier. This is exactly where the real danger begins. So let's move on to the fourth deadly nighttime habit, which many older adults adopt consciously, believing that it protects their sleep. Going to bed dehydrated. After 50, the feeling of thirst becomes weaker. Many people also limit their water intake at night so as not to wake up to go to the bathroom. At first glance, this sounds practical. In reality, it is extremely dangerous. While you sleep, your body continues to lose water through breathing and sweat. If you go to bed already dehydrated, your circulatory system enters the night at a disadvantage. Here is what happens inside your body. When you are dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker. Thicker blood flows more slowly. Slow-flowing blood forms clots more easily. Now combine this with nighttime physiology. During sleep, the heart rate naturally slows down and blood pressure drops. If your blood is thick at the same time, blood circulation in the heart and brain can drop dangerously. That is why dehydration significantly increases the risk of ischemic strokes and nighttime heart attacks. A study published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Disease showed that even moderate dehydration increases the risk of nighttime cardiovascular complications by more than 60%. I remember a 70-year-old patient who proudly told me that he never drank water after dinner. One early morning, he had a stroke in his sleep. An examination showed a blood clot blocking a cerebral artery. His blood was unusually thick. Dehydration played a key role. The solution is not complicated. Drink a glass of water 1 to 2 hours before sleep. Go to the bathroom right before lying down. Keep water near the bed and take small sips if you wake up thirsty. This simple habit helps the blood circulate smoothly all night, reducing the load on the heart and brain. And now, let's discuss the fifth deadly nighttime habit, the one that almost no one associates with heart attacks and strokes: sleeping in a room that is too hot or too cold. The temperature in your bedroom directly affects the cardiovascular system during sleep. When the room is too warm, it is hard for your body to release excess heat. Blood vessels dilate, heart rate increases, and you lose fluid through sweat. This increases the load on the cardiovascular system and raises blood pressure. Harvard University studies have shown that sleeping in rooms with a temperature above 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit significantly increases nighttime cardiovascular risk. But severe cold is no less dangerous. Low temperatures cause blood vessels to narrow. This increases vascular resistance and forces your heart to pump blood, overcoming higher pressure. In older people with stiff arteries, this can be the final trigger for a heart attack or stroke. European data showed a sharp spike in nighttime heart attacks during cold spells, especially among older adults. The safest temperature range for sleep is from 18 to 22 degrees Celsius and from 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the heart rate remains stable, blood pressure regulation improves, sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Temperature control is not just comfort, it is the protection of your cardiovascular system. Now that you understand these 5 deadly nighttime habits, let me give you something much more effective. A step-by-step protective nighttime routine that you can start right tonight. A routine that is safe for the heart before sleep. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., eat a light dinner. Focus on lean protein, vegetables, and easily digestible carbohydrates. Avoid heavy fats, large portions, and excess salt. 7 p.m., drink a glass of water. If the doctor prescribed evening medications to you, take them strictly as directed. 8 p.m., engage in a calm activity, a leisurely walk, reading, or quiet music. Avoid emotional stress and bright screens. 9 p.m., prepare the place for sleep. Adjust the temperature in the room. Put a glass of water near the bed. Dim the lights. 9:30 p.m., a trip to the bathroom. Empty your bladder completely. Brush your teeth. Take your final medications if they are prescribed. 10 p.m., sleep posture matters. If you snore or suspect sleep apnea, sleep on your side with proper neck support. If you wake up at night, move slowly. Sit down before standing up. Take small sips of water if necessary. This routine reduces the nighttime load on the cardiovascular system by more than 40%, according to numerous studies on circadian blood pressure and sleep safety. Let's briefly summarize the 5 habits that silently kill during sleep. First, late, heavy dinners. Second, skipping or taking medications at the wrong time. Third, untreated sleep apnea. Fourth, sleeping in a state of dehydration. Fifth, poor temperature control in a bedroom. Each of them is dangerous on its own, and together they create a perfect storm. The truth is painful, but it gives strength. Many nighttime heart attacks and strokes are not fate. They can be prevented. You do not need expensive treatment. You do not need extreme regimens. You need awareness and consistency. If you are over 50, tonight matters. Change these habits today, not next week. Your heart has worked for you for decades. Protect it while it rests. Before you leave, I ask you to do 4 important things. First, subscribe to this channel. Every week I share life-saving medical information clearly explained for adults over 50. Second, like this video. This will help this message reach other people who may not know they are at risk. Third, leave a comment. Write, "I am changing this tonight." Your commitment may inspire someone else to take action. And finally, share this video with those you care about, with a partner, parent, friend. You may never know whose life you will save. Sleep should heal you, not cause harm. Take everything under control tonight. This was Dr. Alex. See you soon.